Good evening and hello everyone, and welcome to my Mystery Monday on Tuesday here live on Facebook, and you can catch the replay on YouTube as well. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Lucia Visentin and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Melbourne, Australia. As you hop on, do say hi. We'd love to know who's around. And I hope you all had a lovely, those of you in Australia at least, I hope you all had a lovely Australia Day weekend, long weekend as well. Just let me... we had some friends over from Tassie on Sunday, so that was really nice. Hello Lisa, how are you? I hope you had a lovely day. Don't know how hot it would have been up where you were. I know yesterday here was boiling. Well, too hot for me at least anyway. Here yesterday it got to 40-ish or something, and today was really cool. So go figure, weather. So today I am going to do, and I know I've done this suite a fair bit, but there was a card I wanted to do, and the suite actually works well with it, is the Floral Delight suite. So like, I have been using it to death, I know, but I do really love it. And it's just, you know, you definitely will get your money's worth out of it if you do purchase it as well, because there is so much you can do with it. And I'm going to use different colours today as well. 41, yeah, 41 is just way too hot for me. So the colours I'm using are a little bit different, but I think go really nicely with it. And I will show you the card. It's a fancy fold, and I will show you from scratch how to make it as well. So we'll start from the very beginning of the card. So I will flip you over and we will get on to what we're making. Okay, so I have got my trimmer with me here as well tonight, so that I can show you how to make it. The card is going to be out of Gorgeous Grape, and I am just going to cut the cardstock to begin with, like I would for a regular card size. So I'm just going to cut my A4 paper in half, so I'm going to cut it at 14.85. And that's it, done. Alrighty. Then I'm going to cut some white, and the white is, I'm going to mount it on top of that. So I want it 0.5 smaller, so 14.35. And this is by, now I've got to think about this, 4.5, 16 by 18 centimetres, and I will explain those measurements in a moment. So we will get rid of that. So for the card, I will score that, and the card I'm going to score at 5 centimetre increments. So our cardstock is 21 centimetres wide, so I'm going to score it at 5. And do make sure you get rid of your cutting blade. So 5, 10, 15, and 20. Good evening, Natalie. Thanks for joining us. So that is our card scored. And the card I will now burnish. So I'm just going to fold it at all of those score lines, and just with my bone folder burnish all that. All these little yellow bits. I've been playing with this suite today, but in the actual colours it comes in. Actually been getting ready for our class this month, which is using this same suite. So that's the basis of it. And I am just going to cut a little bit off each corner here, just so when I pop this card together, which will go together this way, it is just a tower. And if you cut the corners off, it just makes it a nice neat little join when you pop it in. Okay, so that's the basis for our card. I'm going to have my join at the back, and this will be the front of my card. Oh, the suite I'm using today is the Floral Delight suite. So like I said, I'm sorry some of you might be getting sick of it, but it is a nice versatile suite. So this one here I'm cutting so that I've got 0.5, it's 0.5 smaller, so you've got 2.5 mils showing all the way around. Because these are 5 centimetres, these are going to be 4.5 centimetres wide. I've left it all in one piece, and I am going to stamp it in one piece. So then when I put all my bits on here, I will just cut them at the 4.5 once it's stamped. Okay. So I will get to and stamp. So like I said, I'm using the Delightful Wishes to stamp it with. We might just go a little bit closer. I feel like I'm a little bit far away. There you go. That's probably a bit better now that I've done the cutting. So the colours I am using is Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, Pecan Pie, and Old Olive. Okay, and I do have everything all mounted, so all my rubber stamps are mounted. Good evening, Renee, thanks for joining us. So we have the outline, because it's a 2-step stamp. The outline is going to be in the darker. The actual flower will be in the lighter. I do have the stem, or the stalk, is in the Pecan Pie, and then my leaves in the Old Olive. Okay, and I do find stamping in the darker first is best. What I'm also going to do is just mark, sorry, I'm going off, I'll come up here. I'm just going to mark my card very, very lightly at the 4 centimetres. That doesn't look right. Oh, 4.5 centimetres, that's why it doesn't look right. There you go. Let's just rub those out at the bottom. And we'll go 4.5 instead. So, 4.5, 9, and 4.5, and 18. Okay, just so I've got some idea where I'm placing everything then. So I am going to go in with my dark, which is the Gorgeous Grape, and I just have to remember what way up this goes. So we're going to go that way and that way. Okay, so ink that up nicely, and I will actually use my because I'm using photopolymer stamps, I will use my piecing mat underneath. It does give you a nicer finished image. And we'll just go, I feel like that's upside down though, but it's not, it's okay. And we'll come up that way. Oh, hi Joan, how are you? Just making sure it's inked up really nicely. So these two are my fronts. Now what I'm stamping now is going to be on the back. So I'm just going to get just a little bit of paper to pop under here, just so that I don't get ink on my mat. And these will just go down a little bit further. The reason why I'm stamping them down a little bit further is because you will be writing on the back of the card. So you want a little bit of white there so that you've got room to write. Okay, there you go. So that is our gorgeous grape done. I'm just going to quickly clean up that stamp. And now this will be interesting because I know when I was doing it today I had to stamp with my head right over it to get it so it all lined up properly. So we'll see how we go tonight. But I might have to do the same thing again. You stand up and you've just got to find where it all matches nicely. And once you find it, and like I said, I do find it easier going the darker than the lighter because I find I can match up the lighter with it better. Hello Jackie, how are you? Thanks for hopping on. Now I think my Highland Heather, which is the colour I'm using now, probably does need re-inking. And for some reason I don't have any of the re-inker. So that's something I will need on my next order, I'm thinking. So it would probably usually stamp a little bit darker than it's stamping now, but that's still giving us a nice effect. And again, I'm just going to pop that paper under us again. Like I said, I just don't want to get... Hello Cheryl, thanks for joining. I hope you enjoy it. We are just doing a fancy fold card, and this is the bit that's going to go on top of it. Oh gee, this is really... Okay. And one more. And like I said, definitely with the two-step stamping, I would recommend standing up over it so that you can get it lined up nicely. But I think I've actually done okay. I think most of them are pretty well lined up. So it's not too hard to get them lined up nicely. So we'll get rid of that one as well and clean up. And now we'll go ahead with our little stem. So this is the pecan pie. So what I'm doing here is I'm lining up this little piece here with this flower, and then this little piece here with this other flower here. And this gap goes over this petal here. So once you've done it a few times, you do kind of get the hang of where things go. But it does take a little bit of practice as well. But like I said, once I've had a little bit of a play with it today. So once you've had a bit of a play, you do get it. And like I said, it is actually harder with the camera in my face as well. Sorry, I am a little bit low here. Oh, now I'm right off with this one. Oh, here we go. It's funny how when you're missing that last one, it makes it a little bit harder to stamp. Hi Patty, how are you? And this one here, go this way. There you go. So that wasn't too bad either. And then lastly, we have our leaves to pop on. So the leaves I'm doing in Old Olive. I'm just going to close this up so I don't get ink everywhere. Okay, so the first leaf, there's a little nodule just here. So that first leaf goes on that one. And then the others, there's another one at the bottom that goes on this other little nodule. So once you can find those two little points, you'll be in about the right place then. And one last one. Yeah, everyone here is fine. All better now that we've had a long weekend. Although John has started back at school now. So back to the real world again. Here we go. Alrighty. So that's some of our stamping done there. What I'm also going to do is just to add a little bit more. I'm just going to rub out all those little bits now because I sort of know where we're putting everything. I'm going to come back in with the Highland Heather, which is the lighter colour. And in that stamp set, there is this little stamp here. They look like they could be the insides of flowers. This set's actually from the mini catalogue. So it is, oops, this set here. Let me find the other page. Here we go. It is the Floral Delight suite. And it is actually from the January to April mini catalogue, Cheryl. But like I said, in there they've done it in the yellows and greens, whereas I'm using the Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape this time, just for something a little bit different. I have seen someone else use it, might have been Emma Goddard. I'm sure she used the Petunia Pop and the Berry Burst, which was just amazing. That looked absolutely gorgeous. But I think this is still just as nice. So the lighter colour here, the Highland Heather. And we're just going to just randomly do a little bit of these little sprays. Over the card. Just to fill in some gaps. And we might even just get out our, I did have a wink of Stella here, just got to make sure that it's the, I'm just going to do a little bit of splattering on it. Now I know that some people actually hit, I don't get as much out of it when I do that. I find that if I flick it out of the lid, it's a little bit better. And I am just quickly going to go over some of the Gorgeous Grape bits just to accent it a little bit and give it just a little bit of glitter. I don't know whether you can tell, it just makes that Gorgeous Grape a little bit darker as well. It will dry lighter again though. Like I said, just give it a little bit of shimmer. Now be careful if you're going off the lines, because the tip of your brush will actually get a little bit grapeified. and I'll show you in a minute on a scrap bit of paper how you can clean that as well, because it does pick up the colour slightly, so try not to go off what you're colouring in. So just to clean that tip, although there's not too much grape on it, just rub it on the bit of paper for a little bit and that will get all those little bits off it for you. Okay, so now I'll grab my trimmer again and we will cut this at the 4.5. Okay, so up we go. So we've got 4.5 centimetres, and what I'm also going to do is make sure I keep them all in order as well. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. So there are little bits there, and here is our card here. So I'm going to attach those so that they all sit on there. And most of them I have got right in that section anyway, but some of them I've got a little bit on the other panel, and that's fine because we've got them all in the right order. That doesn't matter at all. And you could even have, I'll show you ones that I've done, or one I've done before, and I have actually gone right over into the other panels with the stamps as well. Oh, there was something else I was going to do. Before that actually sticks, I'll put that one to one side. I was going to just give it a little bit of blending around the edges. So we've probably only just saved that. The colours are gorgeous in the purples, aren't they? I do like it. So not too much, not too heavy, just a little bit. All the way round. I'm not going into the centre of them too much either. Now it'd be interesting doing the one that I've got the glue on it now too. We'll see how I go. Just getting a little bit ahead of myself. And this is going good, we're nearly at the end, but not quite. More, just a bit thrown out, not my usual night. Okay, now this one might actually stick to the paper, but we can cut that off if it does. Okay, let's see how we've gone. It's stuck, but that's all right. Like I said, you can just cut that off. It's got the paper behind it, that's fine. This is what happens when you muck up. Because I haven't put the glue right to the edges, I can cut in. You can just see I'm cutting out. And that last little bit at the top. There you go. So let's now try that again and put some glue behind it. I'm just making sure I'm getting that glue off that paper as well. Okay, we'll go again. That's better. And next one. So like I said, I've actually been cutting out bits for my class, which is on the 14th of February. So I still have a couple of places left. So if anyone is interested in joining me, we are using this suite, but we are using it in the yellows, as it is in the catalogue. So Friday the 14th, and it's online, and the price is $45. So that includes the kit, the PDF, the class. Everything is included in the kit that you need as well, apart from sentiments. So that's the only thing that you need that's not in the kit. So just leave a comment if you're interested at all. Would love to have you join us. And it's a nice way to start off the weekend too, with a little bit of card making. You know, start the weekend off the way you'd like to continue. So this is now the base of our card. So what I'm going to do now is just pop a little bit of glue on the tab, and we'll close the card up. So I'm just folding it into the middle, into the middle again. I'll even just fold it this way as well. Get a little bit impatient here. I'll make it to stick straight away. I usually do use double-sided tape because I am a little bit impatient. But the glue holds it really nicely as well. So again, like I was saying, that's the back where the join is, and this will be the front. So now what I want to do on the front is put a sentiment and a little bit more stamping as well. So what I have done is I've cut a few things out. I have cut a circle in the stylish shapes, and I've cut out the largest circle. So they're $53. The stylish shapes are fantastic. If you need some shapes, they are a great thing to have in your arsenal. So I was going to use that. And what that's going to, so that will sit on there, but how it will sit on there is, this is my little prototype. I'm going to make these little wings, and the wings is what the circle sits on. So then it can still fold flat, but then when it sits up, the little circle will sit out a little bit as well. Okay, so that's where we're going with all of this. And the other thing I wanted to use was the wishing. So I'm going to use wishing you a happy birthday. So we will cut out these two with the cut and emboss machine. So let's grab that. So I've got plates 1 and 2, and then I have the Perspex 3 and another 3. And we will go the little wishing, the skinny wishing in the old olive, and I have got some adhesive sheet behind that as well. So that will make it a little bit easier to stick on. And then the plain wishing, we're just doing in the white, the background wishing, that is. So we'll pop that through. I'll just come through again. Now the slower you go through, the better it will cut, because it's staying under those rollers and under that pressure for a little bit longer as well. And we'll take those off. Okay, so now we have our background wishing, which is the white. And we have our little skinny wishing, which will go on top. So what I'm going to do with this one, and I'll just take all the bits out of the middle. And the bottom of that one. But I'm keeping it all inside the die still. Now there is a reason for that, because what I'm going to do is actually take the adhesive sheet off while it's still sitting here. So we'll take that side off and we'll take this other side off. I'm using the Take Your Pick tool because that makes it nice and easy. And what I'm going to do then is my first wishing, the thicker one, I'm going to sit over the top so it's all lined up nicely. And turn it over, and I'm just going to poke through all those little holes, which is then hopefully going to adhere it to my background, which is just a nice little hint for getting it all on nice and straight. Now the other thing that's still sitting in here are my tops of my eyes, so you can take those out. Now getting the backs off these is a little bit tricky, I must admit. I have seen a lot of demos just use their marker pens to draw the eyes, dots on the eyes. But if you're patient enough, you can get them. You can get the backs off, but it does take a little bit of patience. So I must admit that little bit there is a little bit fiddly. So next I'm just going to sit that on the top. It does work really well, Lisa. It just stops. Sometimes when you've got the words, they stretch a little bit, and this just stops the stretching if you pop it on this way. So this is just going to be a layer under my wishing. Like so. And then I've cut a little bit of the gorgeous grape again, just to pop underneath as well. I'll get a little bit of glue onto that. And pop our wishing on top of that. I'll just cut the end at a little bit of an angle, and I've even got a little bit showing at that other end as well. Okay, so we'll bring in our circle, and again, because we've done a little bit on the rest of it, I'll just, with what I've got left on my brush, I'll just go around the edge of that. And we'll do the same again with the flower. So we've got the dark one, there's the gorgeous grape. And again, I've just got to figure out which is the top and which is the bottom. Top. And we might just have it coming down the side. Like so. Thank you, Jane. Pop our gorgeous grape away. Got the Highland heather out again. Like I said, this is getting a little bit light now, so that was a bit silly. I just inked up exactly the same one. I was wondering why it wasn't looking quite right. How about we ink up the full flower for this one? I'm thinking it didn't look like anything was going to come out. Okay. He goes on that way. Like so. And we've got that stem. Is right about there. And then those leaves. Alrighty, almost there. We'll get our lighter colour again. And just put a few of these little bits around. Might do. Don't know whether you can see them from that far away. We just pop them on. Okay, and in our green, we'll just stamp the rest of our sentiment as well. So like I said, we've got the big wishing and then you a happy birthday for the rest of it. There you go. Alrighty. And we'll just trim this up. So, there. Happy birthday. Okay, so now the one thing I have forgotten to do is our little these little pieces here. So they're almost like two little bookends. So let me grab some white. I'm sure I've got plenty of scraps here. So what's that, 3 centimetres? So if I cut them at 1.5, score them at 1.5, and then I'll just cut it at 1.5. Okay, so this is what I end up with, these two little pieces that I'm going to fold in half. And when we put them on, we want both of them to open up on the sides. So the folds are going to go in the middle. So I'm going to bring my card in. I have got my join at the back, so that's the back there. And these are just going to go here. I'll just make sure that that's kind of in the middle of my circle. So we'll go about there. We'll put some glue on. Now again, you can use double-sided tape for this as well. I did find that glue was quite alright on this as well though. And I'm just putting it just a little way away from that crease line. So I have got just a little bit of a gap in the middle there. I've just got a little bit of glue on there, so let's just wipe that off. Okay, I'll finish making this up first. So we might pop that on dimensionals. And we might even put a little bow at one end as well. Might do that kind of thing as well. I'll grab a little glue dot. I'm just using some linen thread for that. Just grabbing that dot with my take your pick tool. Pop it there. And then we'll put our bow just behind it. And even up those ends. I probably need a little bit more of the ribbon now as well. The ribbon, the twine. That linen thread's gorgeous. Okay, and we'll still put dimensionals behind all of that. Kind of go that way, I think. And then we'll pop these on. So, wishing you. I am just going to cut up my dimensionals a little bit here so that they're nice and thin. We don't need a lot for this one. And I'm just going to put the dimensional at the very bottom because I've already got that wishing up on dimensionals. I don't need this to be any higher. So that can just then tuck in up under there. So wishing you a happy birthday. There you go. So you can go on there. A couple of little ones on here. Oh, do you know what I did forget here? I'm just going to go over it with that little bit of Wink of Stella just to colour in those deeper purple, gorgeous grape bits on it. Like I said, just to give it a little bit of shimmer. And again, just a little bit of flicking over the top. Wishing you a happy thank you, Annette. Yes, I might have to perhaps pop an order in tomorrow. Thank goodness Celebration's still going, so I'll get some little bonuses with Celebration as well. And then that can go over the top there. So now all we need is just a little bit of glue on these hinges. So just on the top and on the top. That in the middle. And just hold it in place for a while. Good evening, Kim. How are you? Sorry, a bit of a funny night tonight. I didn't go on last night, so I'm here Tuesday night instead. So when we open this up, it sits with our little circle out a bit. And we've already printed up what would be the inside of our card, which is the back of the card for this one. And the good thing about this is it still fits in a regular envelope as well. So I thought that was quite a nice little card. I did see Kim Fee make this card on Friday morning and just ask if she didn't mind if I did it for tonight. So I've done it in some different sets than she did. The other thing you can use is designer series paper for this as well. So one of the designer series papers that would be absolutely perfect for this is the mixed media design, because you could actually use all of these at the bottom and you've still got the white at the top. And what did we use? We used 18 centimetres. So I'm sure you'd get, that's 15. Yeah, so you're going to get a nice chunk of that in the middle. That's all going to have that white. But even if you had those side bits at the back that went up a little bit further, or had those bits in the middle, you could do what you like. There'd be all sorts of things you could do with that that would be quite pretty. So there was that one, and I did actually do this with a team member on the weekend as well. So we had a little get together on Saturday. I think it was Saturday, and we did make this little one here. And I have been going to use this set for I can't tell you how long. So this is a little sweet pea set, and I think it's in the main catalogue. Oh, how cute is that one? And again, so it's still just that cube. We've used some of the little hearts as well, which were from the stamp set that had Friend in it, the die for Friend. I can't find it now. But yeah, the little hearts are in that as well. But just for something a little bit different. And like I said, those little hinges, this one here I did the hinge in green because I thought I was just going to use the green. So I did learn for this one, do it in white, so then you can't, not that you can see behind there anyway, but it is nice just to have it in the white so it's matching the card, whereas this one here, like I said, you've got the green behind. But like I said, I don't think too many people would see that. And like I said, you've got the back to write on as well. So they were my two little cards, or my one card for tonight, but my two little cards. Oh, you know what I have forgotten is gems. I do have some of the purple fine shimmer gems that we can use on this as well. So let's go ahead and pop a couple of these on as well. Just to give it a little bit of shimmer. There you go. Just for a little something. So how's that? All done. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Remember that celebration is still going. So every $100 that you spend, you do get a free product from the celebration catalogue. That is the host code for this month. Still have a few places in my class for the 14th. Thank you, Natalie. Thank you, Patty. So if you are interested in this suite, but like I said, in the yellows, which is what we're doing, $45, and it is $7.30 on the 14th, and that is the suite that we're using. And I have just started advertising a retreat for the 8th of March, and I have had a few people already coming to that, and that will be a little bit smaller. There will only be maximum of 8 people at that. So if you would like to book in for that, or even just register your interest, that would be great, so that you're sure to get a place as well. So again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Much appreciated. Have a lovely week, and I will see you. Yeah, purple is fantastic, isn't it? And I'll see you on Thursday, and I'll do some more with the markers. Got another great technique that we can use for that too. So thank you. We'll see you Thursday. Bye, everyone.